I'm 100% prepared and ready. I'm not like eating the last bite of the donut while trying to get a fridge to shut and changing. You shut, you piece of shit! Also, massive thank yous and loves to ours for raiding. Is the ham stopping you? Yeah, it's the ham. How's the ham stopping you from closing? Right, yes, okay, so that's done. Welcome to Alice Madness Returns. Again. But this time we're doing it on hard mode because a certain kitten poker requested it. And they're not even here. But yes, we'll be doing that. And unlike a certain kitten poker, I don't have the dresses of make this game easy as balls. I have the regular stuff. This is gonna be hard for me. I guess I do have New Game Plus, so I start with all the upgraded shit. That's good. Cat Alice. And her green eyes. Well, her eyes always green. I don't know. I know her hair was originally blonde. No, originally brown. And then blonde in the Disney one. But I don't know about her eyes always being green. But it might be something American had to do, so Disney weren't like, it's our version of Alice. Even though if you look at this and you look at Disney's Alice, it's clearly very different. And I'm just waffling here, so I don't have to start yet. So I can carry on packing some things up. That's fully what I'm doing right now. I'm like putting my shoes away and putting my bandana face mask away and all the shopping bags away. Right, so New Game Plus. Select difficulty, easy, normal, or hard. Now Kitten only said I had to do hard, so last time we did normal. We're doing New Game Plus, so we have all the upgrades, but on hard mode. Gamma, so awful are visible. There you go. Invert look off. Why wouldn't it just keep my settings from the last time I played? Because this is New Game Plus, so you would have thought it had those settings. As always, I'll be quiet during the cutscenes, even though I've already streamed this game once before. They are simply the Biscuit rules.
Come now, Alice. It's only a dream.
It's not a dream, it's a memory. And it makes me sick.
Now, focus. Wait. You're floating again. Weightless. A cipher. Relax.
I'm in hell.
Forget it. Abandon that memory. It's unproductive. Go to Wonderland.
I can't. I'm trapped. My past.
Sergeant, this girl's badly hurt. Call for a doctor. She'll be all right.
No, Alice. Discard that delusion. Forget it. Go to Wonderland.
I'd rather not, Doctor. My Wonderland's shattered. It's dead to me.
Your preference doesn't signify, girl. Now, Alice, where are you?
I'm sailing with a friend. It's different somehow. Things have changed.
Change is good. It's the first link in the chain of forgetting.
What's happening? Are you mad?
I'm not mad.
Rabbit,
That's not right. What's he doing?
is something wrong?
something wrong?
Don't struggle, Alice. Let the new one emerge.
Corruption. It's killing me. Wonderland is destroyed. My mind is in ruins.
Forget it, Alice. Block that dream. Wake at the sound. There, Alice. Better now, aren't we?
My head's exploded and there's a steam hammer in my chest.
Yes, well, the cost of forgetting is high.
My memories make me vomit. What can I...
Remember other things.
I want to forget. Who would choose to be alone, imprisoned by their broken memories?
I'll set you free, Alice. Memory is a curse more often than a blessing.
So you've said many times, and...
And I will say again, the past must be paid for. Now, before our next session, collect those pills from our high street chemist.
Very well, Doctor.
It's my turn to forget, Alice.
Now, Charlie, your pa was hung for killing your ma who beat you. Let's forget that, shall we? The past is dead, Charlie.
And hello, Kitten! I know you got distracted by work, hence I messaged you. Also, work isn't a distraction. Work is more important than watching me stream. And also, yes, you claim first, because I was watching ours, and they mentioned they were going, and I was like, oh, that's funny, because I'm about to start. So they was like, I'll raid you.
Ollie pinched me small.
Only pinch me
My
small.
bloomers.
Oh, fair enough. So yes, this game, I'm not going to wait around and try and get everything. We've already done this game once before, so...
Wasted Doctor's time.
I deserve my bitter tears. Want some?
We'll just play for it. I selected hard mode. See, I didn't even see the message yet. I selected hard mode before you won the Kitten, but this is New Game Plus, so I will have my upgraded items. But unlike you...
10 years in the loony bin. No more.
Oh, I don't... Whoever uses this mode?
Mr. Payne had no idea how humble a home could be. If not for my drawings and the photographs, this could pass for my room at the asylum.
Yeah, like, whoever used this mode. No one is, it's stupid mode, yeah. As I was saying, unlike you, I don't have the dresses of make game easy.
Another day, a different dream, perhaps.
Oh, this digging's killing me back. Can't come this way, love. Go round. Nice thing you can build a flat on it.
All my stream element alerts are going off. Popping off. Pop, poppy, pop, pop, pop.
She ever work? Where's her black? Too good for company? She don't get close. Hates being touched. Who likes it then? Never slap. Spite, more like.
I like that there is a hint to what's going on and what you find out is going on later on. Like, where's her plaque? Oh, she can't because she doesn't like being touched. Who likes it? No one does.
The Sandman's coming with a train of cars, with moonbeam windows on the wheels of stars. So hush, you little ones, and have no fear. The man in the moon, he is the
It's like, it's very sad and twisted, but it's like a hint to what's going on. Which, yes, again, anyone watching this, warning, this game is dark as fuck.
Hang on, missy. Move along.
Extremely dark.
You seen the price of cheese these days? It's outrageous.
Hello, Puss. Puss, 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 Puss. Don't be afraid.
Morning stream and afternoon stream. And in between, I have to record bloody the...
Now, where has that cat gone?
Mind Game Monday as well. All things live. All living things die eventually. Still, the creature remains are always poignant. Yeah, I have to film another Mind Game Monday at some point today as well. No rest for the biscuit. No rest for the biscuit.
Like a real dog, no changing nappies. Better than being a dog's
Excuse me,
toddy.
sir. You look like a distressed gent.
Save the world. 10 minutes at a time.
I did see the last one.
Seems
Thank you for
following
the hello.
fiery creatures into dark holes has become a habit.
I did.
I hope it's not a vice.
Oh yeah, I said hello to you. Yeah. You're the only one who watches them, so I was like, I'll call you out. I'm like, hi, kid. Hi.
My stars and garters, Alice Little. Slumming again, are we?
Nurse Witless. What luck. Twice in as many months.
Out on your own? You look frazzled, dearie. Not doing well?
Not really.
Come along home then and look at my pigeons. Pretty birds, like you.
I don't think so. Our last visit cost me several pounds and got me nowhere.
I might recall where your mangy rabbit got to. Still a mess. No surprise. Her kin roasted like chestnuts right before her eyes. 10 years in Rutledge Asylum wasted everyone's time. Dr. Bumby won't do better. Still hauling out her questions. The fire, her memory. I deserve consideration, don't I? Who found her her new clothes? Who got her a place at Bumby's? Where'd she be without me? On the streets, selling her backside. Likes my pigeons, though. She's doled out the odd pound or two. But what I know is worth more than that. Kept her secret, haven't I? Heard her say, "Oh, died on my account, I couldn't save you." I've told her my silence is for sale. Keep. I'm a good sort, really. Not like her nanny, that uppity whore, or that lawyer fellow Radcliffe took a stupid rabbit. Need money. Warned her I'd tell the coppers if she didn't make a donation to my upkeep. She yells and goes off her head. Guess she can't remember her name, what I heard.
How's the audio, by the way? Like for the game, I mean. Because coming through my TV, it's like rather quiet. I don't know how it is for you guys. I say you guys. I don't know how it is for you, kid. It's fine. Surprising you allowed. You are allowed compared. So do you want me to turn the game up then? Do you want me to turn the game like? No, you good. Okay. I get so confused at times. Coop is really just a cage, but the birds don't seem to mind. I would say because they're dumb pigeons, but pigeons are rather intelligent. Unlike what most people think.
Nurse Witless, do you mean to harm me? To send me back to the asylum?
I won't say no. I've a thirst you could photograph. Need a drink.
One mouse on its weapon.
Pretty birds, like you.
No wonder.
You've done magic.
Only a dream.
top goes the clock. I'm looking around my room going, I really can't wait to reorganize it because, you know, it's a bit cluttered and I wish there was a bit more space. And then there's a giant ass fucking traffic cone that I don't need in this room. That's taking up a lot of the space. And I was just like, you know, I could reorganize stuff. I'll get a lot more space. Traffic cone. Traffic cone. Of course it's still there. I've had it for years.
Very upsetting journey, but I'm rid of Pris, or whatever she's become. At least the place I've landed is somewhat familiar.
About time, too, Alice.
Blasted cat. Don't try to bully me. I'm very much on edge.
Perfect. When you're not on edge, you're taking up too much space.
You're no help at all.
But you know I can be.
I'll frighten myself when necessary, thanks very much. I was hoping to escape from all that.
Abandon that hope. A new law reigns in this wonderland, Alice. It's very rough justice all round. We're at risk here. You be on your guard.
I don't actually know which version of Cheshire I prefer. The one in this one or the one in the first one. I much prefer the gameplay in this one. But there are some areas of this one that I don't like, unlike the first one. There's areas of the first one that... Oh, I forgot I got all the upgrades already. I forgot that I had all the upgrades already. Yeah. I just hope that in the next one, it isn't all just dark areas again. Because the first one, it was all like every area of the game was dark. They used the quote on the bag. The Cheshire came in, and it was my suggestion. They asked for quote suggestions. Oh, that's awesome! That was awesome. Yeah, the first game, all the areas were kind of just dark, and then in this one, you have like areas like this, which are quite bright. And I always like that. I always prefer, like, if you're gonna do something dark and twisted, still give bright, amazing looking areas, because dark and scary in the dark is very easy to do. If you can do dark and twisted in a pretty area, then that's true skill.
You're part frog, Alice, I swear. You jump so well.
Yeah. If you can... I don't know, I've always preferred that, like, darkness being in, like, fun, pretty areas, rather than dark stuff being in dark areas.
If you leap from that table again, Alice, I'll expire. You're 2 times too reckless, my girl.
How do I become small again? What button? All the buttons. How do I become small? That's it. Oh, I thought there was a drinking thing over here. Okay, my bad.
Amanita muscaria, Alice, is merely a stinky toadstool. A spongy consistency, but poisonous.
I've been down this road before. Good things in small packages?
Though lacking a bathing costume, a plunge in that pool is in order.
My God, I'm shrinking in this potion. Shall I disappear?
Almost. But the upside is that while smaller, you can see things that are nearly invisible to your bigger self.
Ah, I get it. Right. Forests for the trees. Just the other way round. Short-sighted is more than a matter of perspective.
I think because I entered the wrong way, it broke the camera as well. I like the way you went to me. You entered the wrong way. I was just like, it broke the camera. I'm sorry. Oh, look, that child's still up there now. We might get a... How do I go first person mode? You can't in this bit. Okay, that's stupid. The child's still up there.
Look how small she's become, all curled up. She's barely there. A vixen in her hidey-ho.
Vixen in her hidey-ho. I didn't miss much. Look at the creepy grab hands. And then watch. And then you get health. Another little hint to what this game is truly about. American McGee, I love you. Like, I love your work. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. But you also are just fucked up, my friend. I am fucked up too. But you are fucked up as well. Like I did in school, scare one of my teachers in an English writing course because of the thing I wrote. Because apparently it was overly dark. And well, it was. But, nonetheless, my friend, you are also a fucked up individual. Well, he is, and he's had a lot of stuff happen. I know, I know. I mean this in a way of darkness recognizing darkness. I don't mean it in a way of...
I'll never have more fun alone than when I rode the big slide in Hyde Park. Papa will take you soon, Alice.
Yeah, I mean this in more a way of darkness recognizing darkness, not as in, like, me insulting him. I love the slide sections. I know most people don't like them, but I do love them. They're a lot of fun. Although she goes rather slow. I do wish you would hurry up, Alice, dear. I know. What is that thing on my... Why is my phone going off?
Portal blade is swift and keen and always ready for service.
I've not come back here looking for a fight.
Really? That's a pity. One's certainly looking for you.
Purple blade goes snick a snack. It leaves them dead, as seen in a previous poem. Snick a snack.
Flight or fight implies a permanent choice, but flight often just means putting off the fight to another day. Choose your battles wisely, Alice.
So I was, I don't know why my brain just froze it. I need to drink this energy drink that's next to me. I need energy. You're dead.
Ugly, gross, and evil in a single monstrosity.
I was debating whether I should get that Elden Ring game or not. I don't know. It's one of those Dark Souls games, which I don't like. I don't like the Dark Souls games. It's not because they're hard, because, you know, I like a good hard challenge, but it's just because they're not accessible. And then they have the toxic fans saying, oh, we don't need things to make it accessible. It's meant to be hard. Yeah, there's hard and then there's not accessible. They're not the same thing. A game like Control is hard, but has modes in there that can make it more accessible. Like, for example, in Control, you can set it so when you die, you just respawn where you died rather than respawning at a checkpoint. Now, yes, that makes the game easier, but it might make it more accessible for someone else.
A flower's purpose is simple and immutable. Human purpose is fickle because it is a slave to memory. Memories must be strictly managed, Alice. Unproductive ones must be eliminated.
So yeah, the thing that puts me off Dark Souls is probably the community. The community is so toxic that I don't want to touch the game. Yeah, I know you can run away from fights on this one, but it's not... It's also, there's other things, like the game refuses to add in color blindness modes and things like that. And just other things, like... I think the only accessible thing I ever actually need to play a game is subtitles. I just need subtitles, I don't know why, I just do. Like, I can hear perfectly fine. I just always love subtitles. I mean, you don't have to interact with the community. Yeah, true, I know. But I do have a Dark Souls-esque game. I have that Vampire, which I was really looking forward to when there was all the trailers and all that, because it's meant to be like sort of a 1920s set in Paris. You're a doctor who also happens to be a vampire, so you got to play this balance between like saving your patients and doing what's best for them, but also you need to feed. And it looked like really great. And then when I actually got the game, I was like, they didn't mention that it plays like a Dark Souls game and is as difficult as a Dark Souls game. They did not mention this once during any trailer or any announcement of this game. I did play it for a few hours, but I put it down after that. I was like, oh. I really like the concept of like, I'm a doctor, I have to do what's best for my patients, damn it, but also, I need their blood. You know?
It's you again, Alice. You may approach. Why would I do that? You want to eat me? Yes, well, you taught me manners, and I've lost my taste for mad women. Strictly a porcine diet for me. Everything's better with bacon, don't you agree? Of course you do. Now, there are pig snouts scattered about. I heard a few behind the house. Go fetch them for me. But take care for the pests that block your way. Pepper them up if they do. They need spice, and you're just the girl to season them for me. You'll find that grinder serviceable. Why not season your own pig parts? Matter of priorities. My alabaster skin needs protection from the disgusting creatures running amok amidst the environs. But one gets peckish. Look, all you have to do is listen for the oink, then shoot the snout. You may like the results. I certainly will.
Yes, 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 I have to do your bidding, woman. You can't get your own fucking pigs yourself. Yes, yes it is. What are you saying? Yes, yes it is to, Kitten, there. Also, sorry if you can hear like I'm packing something away quickly. I thought I'd have it packed away before the cutscene ended. Better with bacon. Not everything's better with bacon. I like bacon, but I'm fucking tired of places putting bacon on every goddamn fucking burger. I genuinely get anger now if I go to like a burger place and they're like, do you want to put bacon on your burger? I'm like, do you want me to stab you? Is my reaction nowadays to that. It's just like, no, I just want to enjoy a burger. You don't have to fucking soak it in bacon. Angry Biscuit. Like, don't get me wrong. Bacon is all good and all that, but it's not the solution for every little problem in your cooking arsenal. I will be right back. I genuinely need to get tissue to blow my nose. Where's the fucking wizardy prick gone? No. Can you just die? Oh, look, you're dead. No one likes you. So much anger. This is gonna be the angry recording. That's what this is. This is the rage recording. Dun dun dun. Oh, fuck off in peace. Oh, fuck off. I already beat the challenge. I already beat the fucking challenge. Now I can't kill him, but there's no one. Oh, there's zombies. Oh, fuck it. The Reaper's already coming. I'm just gonna kill the imp. Yes, Reaper, kill my enemies, so I have to kill less. Pull the doors open. Fuck it. Sometimes the challenges are not worth doing. It's just worth just fucking letting the Reaper come. No! Go away, go away, go away. Fuck you, bitch! Oh, we're back here. In the Unker room. I remember raging in this room too, so that's great. A great indicator. This is the angry episode. This is the I'm pissed off, go fuck yourself episode. Where I don't really talk about much either. Me and angry and not talking. I don't know what fist means. I'm guessing fist means punch only. Oh my god. Fuck off. Oh, get off. I'm gonna pick up the RIP. One hit wonder, yes. No! Oh, and one is back. Sorry about that. It's just with work, there's so much fucking dust everywhere. My nose are constantly running and snotty now, which is a gross image. I'm sorry for saying it like that. But I didn't know how else to word it. Hope you enjoyed the sneak preview of the My Game Monday. Oh wait, no, that was this Monday's one, wasn't it? Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little clip of the My Game Monday. If you want to see the rest of it, it's over on YouTube now. You just attain the Duchess, Piglet Edition, Pepper Grinder, spice up your foes for prepared savory snaps. Didn't we cut your head off last time we saw you? Wrong one. Smooth. What do you mean smooth? What do you... What was that smoothness? What's that for? Smooth. Bad for YouTube. Alright, yeah. Hey, I gotta start promoting it. No one looks at it, so... Wasn't there a pig snout behind our house that we had to... Where is that? Did I miss it already? I can't even go back. Did I miss a pig snout already? Oh well. Ah, get off me, you bitch. Yeah, did I miss a pig snout already? Get him. This is a one-off section. What do you mean this is a one-off section? I'm confused. You have to go back to the kitchen. Alright, okay. I do honestly feel like American McGee's never actually gonna.
Thank you so much for the snout. Now go away.
I do actually believe American McGee's never actually gonna release the third game. I think it's gonna be one of those games that's just stuck in development hell for its whole life. Or that is going to be stuck in development hell for so long that it gets overdeveloped and comes out as a piece of shit. That's my two theories. I feel like it's either never going to get out of development hell or it's going to be in there too long. Yay! My controller died! Is it a Biscuit stream without me being late and my controller dying? Now it's a Biscuit stream. Now it's a Biscuit stream. Oh yeah. It does depend on EA, I guess. But then again, American McGee could just make an Alice game. Just not use any of the stuff that EA owns. Companies do that all the time. Game companies do that all the time. It's like, this company owns this certain thing. Cool, we're just going to make the sequel. It just won't use that one thing and we won't call it the sequel. But everyone who plays it knows it's the sequel. You could just do that. But then it would not be Alice. It would be close enough to Alice. You could just make an Alice and never name the main character. You can make Cheshire Cat, but just call it the cat. Well, that's the reason. No, you could. You just have to name them differently. That's the reason a lot of the time when things have Alice in Wonderland parodies or Alice in Wonderland characters in it, you'll notice that the Hatter is called the Hatter and not the Mad Hatter in most of them. That is because the Mad Hatter, that name there, is owned by Disney. You can have the Hatter, you just can't call him the Mad Hatter. Because the character of the Mad Hatter is owned by Disney. That's why in most other things he's just called the Hatter. Or Hatter. So there are ways you can get around it. Yeah, it's called Hatter in this too, because Disney owns the name The Mad Hatter. But no one owns the name The Hatter. No one owns that character. So you could have Cheshire Cat, but just call him the cat. You could have Hatter, just call him Hatter. You could have Alice, but just call her the girl. You know, there's ways around it. You know. But he could not look like a hat without a light. True. True, you'd have to make him look different, but... I'm just saying. There are ways around the whole EA owns the rights thing. Pardon me. Because I don't think EA ever would actually give it up because they're shitty arseholes. Huh, I didn't realise that when you dashed while in the air, you dashed downwards. I didn't realise that. I thought you just dashed forward. I didn't realise you dashed downwards. Huh. Don't forget to look around downstairs. What do you mean? If you're gonna tell me where something is, just tell me. Don't do hints. I don't understand hints. I'm male. We just need to be told. Men don't understand hints. On this level, yeah. Okay, there's a keyhole. Yeah, see? That was more helpful. There's a keyhole. Men are simple. We're more like monkey. Men are very close to monkey, where it's just like, it needs to be simple. Monkey brain. That's why even really, really smart men can do the dumbest shit ever. That's why you can brilliantly write like, he's the smartest man ever in this universe. But he's also gonna do the stupidest shit ever, because men are like stupid. Even smart men are stupid. Oh, piggy snout. That's like in my Bear Trap and Claw comic that I want to write and do. They're uni / college, because I haven't decided how old the characters are yet. Their uni / college professor, the one who like they go to help them and fix the fact that Bear Trap's got his leg caught a bear trap. That's why he could invent all these awesome, cool things. Like, oh my god, he invented a teleportation machine. But he's also a dumb fucking idiot. Like, I really do want to do that comic. I just don't think anyone else would ever read it. I think I would make it. I would pay all the money for an artist to illustrate it. Pay like a writer to help write it, because I would want to write it, but I'd also want someone who's like better at writing than me to also help me write it and do all these things, make this comic, and then I'd sit there going, this is for me. no one else is gonna like this. It is for me. For example, right, it probably wouldn't work as a comic, but maybe if it was like an animated thing. I've always had this idea in my head that I love, right, for anything. Like, it would probably work better for like a serious gritty thing. Like, I've always had this scene in my head of like some serious gritty war. There's some soldiers, they're stuck in no man's land. They've got a car, fine, they've got a car, they can drive around no man's land, but if they start the car, the enemy are going to know, they're going to get fired at, there's nothing they can do. They can't call for help because their radio's broken, the only thing that's working is the car radio. And then one of them goes, well, I've got an idea. And they rig the car radio to blur out SOS by ABBA. Because it's technically an SOS. So I just love this idea of a serious gritty war, and you just got 3 soldiers driving around in a car getting like shelled and bombed by the enemy as they're blurting out ABBA's SOS, so the Allied side can come and rescue them. And I just love that, and it just makes me so happy to think about it, and I find it hilarious. And I doubt anyone else would like that idea. I doubt it. I fucking love it though. Like, I also just image the scene of like the Allied side sitting in the command room, like, so we're getting a weird signal on the radio on the radio wave. What is it? Play it for me. And then it just ABBA's SOS starts playing. What the fuck? Oh, I'm just making myself so happy. Oh. Just driving along, just narrowly miss getting bombed, and it just cuts to them in the car. I'd also image the soldiers in the car, Oh, you got a call. You're missing me. Like you missed me making myself laugh. I think you missed all of the thing that I was talking about that made myself laugh. How was your phone call? How was your phone call? Oh. Oh. I'm so happy. For fuck's sake, Alex. I'm glad there's no death counter. Maybe there should be a death counter. How many deaths is that now? Like 2? 2 deaths. Hard mode. I should probably keep a death counter. Oh. God, I can't breathe.
The railway running through Wonderland sounds charming, but inefficient. Noise and smoke, like snips and snails, perhaps. Best to forget that train. A mock turtle as conductor? Oh, no, I don't think that will do at all.
I see trees of green. Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yeah, what's it? Yeah, the other bit would be, it would fully cut to them in the car, driving along, bullets going past, and you just see 3 soldiers very, very struggling to resist singing along to SOS. It would be brilliant. Oh, I'd be so happy. Or maybe one of them gets shot in the arm or something, he's bleeding out, and then they just start like fucking... They all just start singing along to it. And it's on a loop as well. It's on a loop, so because it's the only SOS they've got. Oh, fucking... why are idiots such idiots? Related to client. Oh, fair enough. I thought you just meant me, because I was talking about a very stupid thing. What's your client done? How do I get to that mushroom? Hello, eyes. Read this as your life depends on it, because it does. Gather these pearly whites to prevent your premature arrival before the pearly gates, my friend. You can use the chompers, and you'll improve your weapons capacity. But I don't think I can upgrade them. I think they're as upgraded as they can get. Yeah, I can't upgrade them, my friend.
Hatta always hated mechanical malfunctions. This disaster is either his doing or his epitaph.
Looking glass railway. Like, is it? They paid $US invoice into a Great British Pounds account, despite the fact that that means changing the details they already had and using a different currency account. I'm guessing the client is American then, so that's why they was an idiot. Americans think they can use US dollars for everything. It's ridiculous. I've dealt with that before. That happened once in Savers, actually. An American came in with American money. I wasn't the one on till, it was like my colleague. But an American came in with American money and expected to be able to buy stuff. And it's just like, are you dumb? That's not this country's currency. But I'm glad that, you know, clients are paying you. That's an up and up. Like, I'm glad there's no, like, it wasn't a client, like, refusing to pay or something. It's always good. Yeah, the invoice are in US dollar. We have a US dollar account that normally pay into, but the fact that they chose to pay into the Great British Pounds account, also not my client, a client of a client. Oh, right, fair enough. Still, it's fucking stupid up there. Yes, yes, it is. I'm sorry they're like that. Whee! I guess I know this isn't on topic with what we're talking about, but I guess "Help" by the Beatles would also work. In my little comedy situation I want to do, that I would love to do. I guess "Help" by the Beatles would also work. So SOS by ABBA or "Help" by the Beatles. I don't know which is funnier. Like, what? Okay, what? No. What actually would be funnier? So it's 3 Allied soldiers stuck in no man's land. They can't call for help because they don't have a radio. They can't activate the car because then the enemy will start bombing them. And then one of them has an idea. That I have an idea. And then it will cut to the ally radio person in charge of the radios. I don't know enough about the army to know people's titles and shit, but the person in charge of the radios and all that going, "Sir, there's a weird signal," and then would it be funnier to have "Help, I need somebody," or "Darling, can't you hear me, SOS"? Like, I don't know which one. Help, I need somebody, or yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would be funny. I have this here hanging out, supporting and lurking. I love you and hope the streams go. Thank you so much, Jazzy. Because I like both songs. Can I? I'm not good at dodging in this game. Can I just kill you another way, you prick? I think I'd keep SOS ABBA, and I think the only reason I would keep SOS ABBA is just because it's a bit more girly, and I know that plays into the stereotypes of like men can't love girly songs, but also all men do love girly songs. Like if you get men drunk on a night out, we're gonna want to be playing the girly songs and karaoke the girly songs. But as I'm saying, like I think in a war situation that's meant to be very serious, 3 soldiers driving around in a half-destroyed car, dodging bombs and missiles and bullets while struggling to resist SOS by ABBA. It works more. I just love that idea. But I'd also then want to write a scene for Help, like. I could do that. I think Help would oh my god, I hate these pricks because I can't dodge in this game because dodging in this game is utter bullshit. So then these guys always take down all my health. Dodging in this game is fucking impossible. Oh, I hate it. Here, touch me up so I can get some health. What was I saying? That Help could work better for like the comic situation of Bear Trap and Claw, because it could be like them two tied up by someone and they're looking at people and then they just go, "Help, I need somebody." And then the other one goes, "Help, not just anybody." And then they just back and forth through the lines of help. I would actually, yeah, I would keep that for the comic. I know it's just one of the triggers of bumpers. It's the timing of the dodging in this game is bullshit. It doesn't work. That is my way of just saying I'm bad at it, but I can't dodge the mad cap guys with the shield in this game at all. I've never been able to. I can't fucking do it. It's impossible. Because I know it's just this button, but it never fucking works. That might be you. I know it might be you. Yeah, I think I'd keep the Beatles help thing for the Bear Trap and Claw comic, because I just love the idea of them two sitting tied up back and forth, just going, help. And all that. There was another funny little scene that I played out in my head the other day where it was like they're getting shot at by someone, right? And it's they're getting shot at by someone, and Claw goes to Bear Trap. I think she's bad at killing us. And Bear Trap's like, oh.
It could have happened that way, Alice. You remember poor Mr. Crook died, didn't he? Dr. Wilson rejects spontaneous combustion, but I trust Mr. Dickens.
Yeah, I think she's bad at killing us. And then Bear Trap goes, how do you know? We've never been killed before. And Claw's just like, well, it's just a theory, but she's missing. And then this Bear Trap goes, yes, I concur. She must be bad at killing us. And I don't know why, but that little interaction there made me laugh so much. Of just like, they're getting shot at, and they're debating whether or not someone is bad at killing them. And they go from being their normal, you know, stupid college/uni kids talking to going really posh and like, yes, I theorize. Oh, yes, I concur. I just love that. I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here making myself laugh. I know no one gives a shit about these stupid stories I play out in my head, but I fucking find them hilarious. Oh shit, we've been going for an hour. I should have BRB'd. Oh well. I'll just play through. Bear Trap and Claw.
The Hatter's domain, almost as I remember it.
Appearances, as you know better than most, can be deceiving, Alice. Much has changed since your last visit.
Dr. Bumby says change is constructive, that different is good.
Different denotes neither bad nor good, but it certainly means not the same. Find the Hatter, Alice. He knows more about different than you.
But does he know more about the difference between bad and good?
Making friends, Alice. You're as randomly lethal and entirely confused as you ever were.
I've managed without you so far, Cat. Return to whatever hovels home to you. I'll call if I need you.
Predictably rash. It's not a question of if, Alice. It's when. Now hold on, and as they say, shut up.
So typical.
I guess I've never thought of what type of crab.
I've made more graceful entrances. I suppose I must be grateful nothing's broken.
Yeah, I've never thought about what type of crab would be the crab that Claw gets merged with. Like, because I guess it does all depend on the type of crab, on how his claw would look, and the type of crab on how the crab people would look. I should probably look into that.
Lizzie, remember when a burst of steam blew your dress up around your neck? Just outside Harrods it was. Fortunate your undergarments had been laundered.
Then again, these are just things for myself that I'm never actually going to make. So is there a point in me looking up what type of crab I would want it to be? Probably not. Probably not. This is just me rambling about the personal ways I get enjoyment in my little head of like... It's like that book I was gonna write. Yes, of course there is. I don't know what you mean, yes, of course there is. It's like that book I started to write and then I never carried it on. But I did carry it on in my head. In my head I have the book, the sequel, the third one, the spin-off from the spin-off. All written out in my head. Do I actually write them out? No. Because writing is hard. Writing is hard. And imagining is easy. Yes, of course there is a point in looking at crab's eyes. You say that, but... I've never thought about it before. Before I was just like, oh, it's bear trap and claw. Yeah, got a bear trap on it. I don't even know what they look like. I've never actually imaged what they look like. I've just got like, they have a bear trap on his leg and a claw for a hand, and that's it. That's how much detail I went into it. Because that's as much detail as I needed just to enjoy the little adventures I put them on in my head. Writing is hard, but nothing good is easy. That's not true. A lot of good things are easy. And also, I think that's broken. Oh yeah, 3 deaths now. I think that's broken, don't you? I don't think that's meant to be like that. I broke the game once again. Yeah, sure. Writing is too hard though. There's difference between hard and like I keep doing it and I get good at it, and hard and I will never get good at it. And writing is one of those things though, it's hard and I will never get good at it. Just because I can't spell, I struggle with similes and metaphors. I overwrite. I did very shit at English in school. I don't know like grammar at all. I don't know any grammar. I don't understand any of it, so I can't really write, can I? Yes, you have. The teapot should not be out. Yes, I do. It's quite fun. Like, I think the only way the books would ever get written is if I paid a ghostwriter. But even then, I don't understand how ghostwriters work. Because do you tell them the story and then they write it for you? Or is it they just write it and your name's on it? I don't understand enough to know how ghostwriters work to be like, I could just hire a ghostwriter. Poor dodo birds. Oh, feck off, you little shit. Feck off! Hate you pricks. I'm guessing now I've used the teapot, it'll disappear. Oh yeah, I fixed it. I fixed the little visual glitch. My phone going off. People just leave me the fuck alone. Everyone should think I'm working today anyway, because this is the day I don't tell anyone about. John's. Oh, what's that? What's that? Oh, it's just Alice killing things. John's just as bad. He has so many good ideas for stories, good for films, but never write them. Yes, John, high five! Because I have the same thing. I have the exact same thing. Okay, what? Okay, so that annoying little that pissed me off there was my bank texting me saying one of my bank accounts was under £200 at the moment. Well, since that bank account has had £0 in it for the last 9 months, why the fuck do you give a shit that it's got under £200 in it at the moment? Like, what the fuck? It's had 0 in it. It has under £200 in it at the moment because that's the one that I have connected up to all my bills. So I just transfer money into that account, and then my bills can just take the money whenever it's needed. And then I can't touch the money. It's just in that one for me to go, look there, all the bills, they take it, I don't need to touch it. Like, that one doesn't have a card that I can use, so I can't be like, go to the shop and then use that money. No, that money is just trapped there for bills. It's like, it's had no money, and now it has money. Yes, I know, because... Yeah. And anyone wondering how did I pay my bills if I had no money in for the last 9 months? I was using my other account, because I have like 3 accounts. I have 3 accounts. So I was just using one of my other accounts. And then I kept getting into the problem of I was spending the money, and then I wouldn't have money to pay the full amount on the bill. So I was like, I should go back to using my bill-only account. Oh, that was 4 deaths, wasn't it? Yeah, 4. I'm counting. 4 deaths, and none of them have been by the hard enemies. It's all been me falling off. The hard platforming. Yeah, because my idea of that book I was writing, and then I never finished, was like I told you about the starting of it before, where it's like, man whose wife was murdered, the police are basically getting nowhere with the case because they all suspect him, so they aren't actually like looking into things too much. They just think he did it, even though he didn't do it. He eventually goes to the shed. In the shed, he finds like goes through his wife's stuff, and he finds like, oh, there's a note, saying about there's a note from some stranger telling his wife to go to a pawn shop to buy a certain thing, and it has a weird symbol at the bottom. It's confusing him, so he goes to the pawn shop, and as he goes through the pawn shop, he's like looking through things, and he touches this small little diary, and then for some reason he feels like he needs to buy the diary, so he does. And then he starts seeing things, like a man. Starts seeing a man, and then it basically eventually turns out to be that the book is, or was, the diary of Jack the Ripper, and it's every time the killer who was writing in the diary would, you know, eventually die, it was found by someone else. There are rules to the book. So the rules to the diary... Yes, pawn shop, not pawn shop. Again. Charity shop. Charity shop. Okay, I'll say that. Pointing to a charity shop. But yeah, the rules of the book is basically like, the book will call out to any male, so it has to be a male, who has killed or has in them the ability to murder. And then the book will speak to, and then you'll start getting this thing. And basically, the person that the main character, I'm just going to call him the husband at the moment because he hasn't got a name. He does have a name. I did write it down somewhere. I can't remember what. The husband starts seeing this entity that's linked to the diary. Now, the entity is not Jack the Ripper. The entity is the combined thoughts and memories and personalities of every killer that's ever written in the diary. So, this entity, who is the whole point of the entity is meant to provoke and convince the person who has the diary at the moment to start killing people, so then the entity can take over the person and have a body. This entity starts talking to the husband, and basically the husband and the entity solve his wife's murder. That's what eventually happens. They solve the wife's murder. There are other characters, like there's a detective who's basically like Columbo, who is the only police officer who doesn't suspect the husband. So there's like good back and forth scenes between the husband and him, where it's like,
My heart is open, Alice.
So they like meet up every once in a while for like shit coffee and they talk about things. Because that's the husband's vice as well. He doesn't smoke or drink. He's heavily fucking addicted to coffee. To the point I made it a thing in my head, right? I made it a thing in my head where I'd want it to be like every chapter I at least mention that he has or drinks a cup of coffee at least 5 times for every chapter. Just to, not in like an annoying way of like, but just to sort of have it in there of the fact of like, he drinks a lot of fucking coffee. This isn't like me going, yeah, he drinks a lot of coffee. No, it's like, no, he does drink like ridiculous, stupid amounts of coffee. Yeah, but basically him and the entity from the book solve his wife's murder, and but the whole point of the book is sort of like the husband won't kill. The husband will not kill. He won't kill. That's the one thing the book wants him to do. It's the one thing he won't do. He won't. Right? And then the book would end on a really cool, like in my opinion, like a really cool cliffhanger where it's basically the husband has caught up with the murderer. The police are also have caught up with the husband thinking he is the murderer. So like the murderer's running down an alleyway, the husband's chasing him, the police are on their way too, like you can hear the sirens, and then the end of the book would end with like everything went silent. He could smell the smoke of the gun barrel, hear the sirens coming, and then the book would just end there, and it would basically be on a cliffhanger of like, did the husband shoot the person who killed his wife or not? Which way am I meant to go? That way or this way? Alright, so this is the bonus way, yeah. Of, did he shoot the person or not? It's a little spoiler. Actually, I won't spoil it. Yeah, did he shoot the person or not? And then the sequel book would be set like 6 or 8 months later. The husband is now a private detective who helps, you know, solve missing persons cases and.
Rocks, Alice. A brick house, like Gibraltar, is impervious to fire, weather, and the indecencies of Barbary macaques, should the need arise.
Yeah, it's like 6 or 8 months later. He's a detective now who helps solve missing person cases or track down people's items with the help of the entity from the book. But he hasn't been hired for a murder yet, like to solve a murder yet. And then someone does come in like this. Basically, someone comes in saying their daughter, like their teenage daughter's gone missing, and they suspect the daughter's been murdered. So they get onto that case, and then the second book is more about the balance of like, okay, I can see this entity who's called Jack. I'm not insane. The book is this thing. So then the sequel would be a balance between solving this missing girl case / murder, and with our main character trying to find out as much as he can about the book, because it is also, the first book wouldn't ever touch on the fact that his wife had this note to go get this diary. Like, it wouldn't touch on it, because the first book would just be like solving his wife's murder. So then it would be, the second book would be our main character is trying to figure out more about this book, the symbol on the note that his wife had hidden away in the shed, and stuff like that. Yeah. Seems like a good TV show, so a film setting up. Yeah. But that's why I said books, though, because in books you can sort of just set up whatever you want. I also did have the idea of, in the first book, the first book would be written in such a way that you wouldn't be able to tell if the Jack entity is actually a supernatural being or the main character losing his mind. Like, it would be written in such a way that it wouldn't ever be. No, sorry, not the first book. So the first book you would know the Jack entity was an entity, blah blah blah. But what I would want is the second book, like the first few chapters, would be written in such a way that the Jack entity just seems like a real person that's with our main character, and there would just be hints and clues, like no one else is talking to this Jack entity, no one else seems to react to what this Jack entity does, and then like at the end of like chapter 3 or something, I'd have like the main character closing a bathroom mirror, and he would see Jack in the reflection, and then he would turn around and he wouldn't see Jack, and that would be like, yeah, no, Jack is this entity, it's not a person that just he happens to be very comfortable and close with. And the way I would do that, like the idea I like about doing that is I would basically have like bits where they're in the car and Jack's playing with his knife and he's stabbing into the board of the car, and obviously the main character gets annoyed at him, like, you're gonna ruin my fucking dashboard. Not in that language, in better written language than that, but like, you're gonna ruin my dashboard, stop stabbing it. And then it would, you know, have scenes later on where there's other people in the front of the car with the main character and no one brings up these stab marks or these cuts on the dashboard. And you would, if you're in someone's car and you see like these massive stabs and cut marks in it, you're gonna be like, what the fuck happened here? But no one mentions it because it's only in our main character's mind, because he's the one who has the book, so he can see what Jack does and the effect Jack has on the world, but no one else can. And it would get, I like the idea that it would get to the point where Jack was no longer trying to get him to kill people. Like, Jack was no longer trying to tempt our main character, the husband, into killing anyone, because Jack, even though that's his whole thing, he's like, needs to corrupt people so they kill, so he can take over their minds. He likes for once that he's doing good. He likes for once that he's helping solve these cases and these murders that no one else would be able to solve, because it's, you know, Jack can sense, he can feel like the intent in someone. Like, he could, you know, there could be scenes where like the main character, like, they're exploring for something and Jack's like, yeah, no, Jack can sense that a murder has happened here. Jack can sense someone's been killed here, there's been blood here before and stuff like that, because he's
obsessed with time. Find him, or your own time may be short.
Okay, Cheshire, I will. Yeah, and stuff like that. And like, Jack can be like, oh, I can sense that that person has murderous, like that person has it in them to commit a murder but hasn't. And Jack can be like, I can sense that person has murdered. And stuff like that.
Brush yourself off, girl. The Hatter should see you at your best after all.
But that's the idea for the first two. And then the third one would be about... I'd say the third one would be maybe a year after the second one, like set a year after the second one, and it would be that the group of people who his wife belonged to, who hunt down these entities, these objects that link these entities to the real world, such as Jack's diary, are now hunting him down because they want to find and destroy Jack's diary. And then the other thing is that he is now romantically involved with someone for the first time. And, you know, he likes this woman. Jack even likes this woman. Jack's like very supportive of this relationship. Like, because I know a lot of things with this whole Jekyll and Hyde thing would have like the Hyde-ish character, the Jack character is like always negative and trying to make the main character be sinful. But I would want it more written as like, yes, in the first book, Jack is very much negative about everything and is very much trying to get our main character to be a murderous bastard. But as the more Jack spends time with him and the more this main character's personality is slowly being fed into Jack because he has the book, even though he never writes in the diary, his personality is still getting fed into Jack. Jack is like this nice, even though it's like this horrible murderous mass serial killer, multiple horrible murderers entity is what made this person. Jack is still sort of like nice-ish, of like supportive of the relationship. Like, oh yeah, she's good for you. Like, oh, she's a good match. And like, Jack reminds him when he's about to go on a date, like, reminds our main character, "Oh, leave the diary," so they can have like a lot. Like, so the main character and the woman he's getting romantic with can have alone time, because obviously if the main character leaves the diary at home locked away somewhere, Jack can't go with him because Jack hasn't taken him over. Jack is linked to the diary. I'd have lines like that, and then I would be mean. I would be mean. Because also up to this point, they would have killed people, but the main character would have not killed people. The main character would have injured people with a gun and fighting. Jack would have killed people with a knife, because it would be. Yeah, I know how the bomb works. It would be basically Jack can sort of materialize himself into our world, so like, other people can see him and other people can see his knife and feel it cutting and stabbing them. But as he does, it sort of weakens the husband. Like, it uses the husband's life force. So Jack finds a good level of balance where he sort of materializes, but still no one can see him, but they can feel the effect of his knife. So they can be stabbed and cut and that. So there would be fight scenes where, you know, they get caught on camera, but what the camera sees is a guy with a gun shooting someone in the leg while the person behind him strangely gets its neck split open out of nowhere. Like, they don't see who's doing that. And then the way I would end this trilogy of books is it's in a church. The main character has been taunted with notes and things by this cult. This group of people are trying to hunt him down and get the Jack's book. And he walks into the church. He gets up to like the main altar area and he sees the dead body of that woman that he's been getting close to and, you know, romantic with. And she's dead. And he breaks down, like crying, holding her in his arms. And then all...
We'll all roast in our beds, Alice, for the sake of your father's unnatural devotion to printed paper. This hoard of flammables wants only a malignant spark and poof, our flesh and blood is smack and dash.
And then basically it would end with he's breaking down crying like that. Jack is telling them that they need to leave. They need to get out of here because the police are coming. And obviously if the police walk in on him covered in blood holding this woman's body, they're going to think he's the one who did it and arrest him. And Jack doesn't want that. But this guy's just breaking down. The police come in. They do, like, you know, they've all got their guns drawn on him. There's like, the church is full of like 20, 25 police officers, all their guns drawn on him, warning him. I have to be quiet now because of cutscenes.
Our lovely library was a fire trap. A conflagration waiting to happen.
So yeah, but it would end with them all drawing their guns on the husband. He looks back at Jack, and he just says to Jack, "Do it." And then it would just cut to Jack fully materialized, so all the police officers can see him, and he's like moving at like speeds that the humans can't comprehend. Dashing between all these police officers, stabbing them, slitting their throats, just absolutely annihilating them in carnage and blood. And then sort of the epilogue would be, after everyone's dead like that, the main character and Jack, who goes back to not being materialized in our world, sneak out through like a side exit in the church. And then it would cut to, like, the Columbo-esque police officer, who we haven't seen till this point, because the first book is set in, like, a small town, and then the second and third book would be set in, like, London-ish. So we hadn't seen the detective from the first book, the Columbo-esque character from the first book, walking in and seeing this carnage everywhere. And and obviously the dead woman are characters from Manic Phobia, and that's how the third book would end. But yeah, I will never write any of this. I just died again, so that's 5. I will never actually write any of it. And then those books do lead on to a different series that I have in my head that has sort of delves more into... Because those books, the ones with the Jack entity, would just focus on the main character, Jack, solving the murder crimes, and Jack being the only entity they interact with.
No. Bad dream. A blasted good night.
Hatter, I recall leaving you in a decrepit condition, but
What?
not in pieces.
Oh, it's you.
What's happened here? You've lost your hat, and some parts are missing.
Missing indeed, though things being what they are. I barely missed their missing. As to what's happened, you should know that better than I. It's your place after all. I know my place.
When did you ever know your place, or how to keep it? Now what's going on?
That's going on. And round and up and down, into my ears, and through my eyes, up my nostrils, down my gullet, and whining in my guts.
Papa was exceedingly fond of trains. I don't like them much.
You won't like this one at all. Nothing like when Mock Turtle was in charge of the looking glass line. This railroad's a bloody shambles. The stink is ferocious, light, blinding, the noise hellacious.
Quite, Hatter. I get the idea. A bad train.
The world is upside down, Alice. Inmates run the asylum. No thanks. And worst of all, I've left tealess.
Tragic. If I do help, will you help me in return?
Cross my heart, if I had one. Find my limbs and toss them into the chute. Machines will do the rest. Be on your way now, that's a good girl. Best way out is through the croc face.
Yeah. So the other books, like the sort of spin-offy ones, would be more focused on basically this, you know, this group of people who are hunting down the items and entities and trying to destroy them, and a different group that's hunting down the entities and items because they want to. As always with weird supernatural things, there are utter stupid morons who wish to control this weird dark power and use it for my own nefarious gains. But that would delve into other entities and beings and basically things like that. And set up the rules and that. And it would also sort of... Oh, I fucked up. I did that wrong, didn't I? Yeah. It would also reveal that the way the entities normally work is they are created from acts of great monstrous tragedy, create these entities, and they're linked and bound to one item. And then if a person has that item, sort of the entity can speak to them and twist their minds and try and take over them. But the entities are normally very short-lived. They don't normally last that long. They normally last a couple of years and that. That's why it's not well known to the public about these overpowered entity beings, because they don't last long. The reason Jack has lasted so long is because he's a diary that is passed down between serial killers who calls out serial killers, and Jack has quite laxed rules compared to other entities, because the other entities is very specific things. Like with Jack, all you need to do is be male, have the possibility to murder, and use a knife. That is it. They're the 3 things you need for the Jack entity. And even then, one of the people who possessed the diary didn't actually use a knife, they used a hammer. So the rules around the Jack entity is very laxed, while all the other entities, it's like, there was one that was created from a horrific doctor who would slice up his patients. For you to be able to possess that entity and that entity to possess you, and for it to carry on living, you would have to be a doctor, you would have to be the age of the doctor, you would have to use a scalpel, you would have to only murder during operations. It would be very specific, so normally the entities die off. Hence, this group of people are very much like researching and looking into entities, trying to capture the Jack one because he's more stable than any other entity. Would lead on to the fact that they do have an entity. They have a... Oh, you have to use the umbrella, don't I? But I can't remember what button that is on Xbox. What the button? Ah, shit, I died. 6. It would turn out that these idiots did have a entity. They had a... Oh, I need to look up what fucking button the umbrella is. Focus, strength, fire, dodge, hobby horse, clockwork, jump, float, four-pull plane, move, camera, movement. None of those say umbrella. Oh, we're going to be fucking stuck here forever then, because I don't know how to use the umbrella. None of those say umbrella, do they? Fuck. A and LT. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kitten. You're awesome. I did it. I didn't do it. You're awesome. I'm just bad at it. As I was saying, it would turn out this stupid group of people trying to control the entities do have an entity. They have a burnt post of an orphanage. But basically, an orphanage burnt down, killing 100 orphans, and they have this burnt post. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to create. They're trying to make it so someone can host this entity. They're trying to get a host for this entity. But the problem with that is this isn't one entity, it's 100. It's 100... Sadly, it's 100 dead orphans who burnt to death. Linked to this signpost. So anyone they try and get to sort of have this entity in them, or even just a part of this entity in them, burns up. So they're trying to research these entities, and they come up with this plan of basically what they do is they buy an orphanage and they have orphans in it, and they set fire to the orphanage, but they don't kill the orphans. They set fire to the orphanage in such a way that it's a traumatic event to these orphans, but they survive.
It's been years now, Alice. Time to put away childish things.
And then they use these orphans who's gone through this traumatic event of being in a burning down orphanage to try and control this entity for them. And that's sort of what the sequel would be about. It would follow one of the kids from the orphanage as they sort of basically, you know, they don't want to be used to be the host to an entity of 100 birds to death orphans for an evil group and organization. Which way do I have to go, Kitten? Is the other way like the collectible? Does it matter which way I go? Or can I just go to either? It doesn't matter, does it? I can go either. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so obviously they don't want to be host to this. So then the book would follow. I think I said he was 15 in the original book. I think he's 50. I think he's 15. And follow this 15-year-old around as he's basically trying to avoid getting captured by this group and used for their experiments.
Steps to enlighten, frighten away. The steps are steep. Take them one at a time.
Yeah, and this book would have little hints to the first 3 books, like as he's sneaking through this organization building, he can overhear them talking about, like, we need more test subjects to try and hold the entity. Oh, what about that detective we was keeping an eye on? No, too risky. And, you know, stuff like that, sort of hint at things like that. Like, that's why they can't use the detective, because it's too risky and all that. And then it would get to the point where I'd only do this one as 2 books. But it would get to the point where basically the kid would be captured and they would try and test this entity thing on him, and he would manage to... He manages to hold host to one of the burnt up orphans. That's it. He holds host to one of the burnt up orphans. Which, you know, they all celebrate, like, yes, it's a success, blah, blah, blah. So then he thinks they're going to use him for the other experiments, try and host all 100. And then it basically gets to a point where it isn't him that they're going to test it on. It's like this 8-year-old little girl who they think would be a better host. And this boy being like, you know, rather noble, that doesn't want to let them do this. So he goes and tries to rescue the girl, and that would be where the first book would end. And then the second book would be sort of him trying to break into this hidden, like, I'm trying to phrase things that I'm bad at. Hidden lab that they basically have on this island out in the middle of nowhere. That's sort of got like an old broken down asylum on it, and that's what they're using to do these experiments. And he's trying to save this girl because obviously they grew up in the orphanage together as well, so he has that connection. Oh, I died. Shit. 7 deaths. Would you like to continue? Yes, I would. And partway through that book, basically, is where our detective would come back and start helping the boy, because the detective is there trying to oh no, I did have, no, this one would be 3, sorry, no, because I did have a middle book where it was basically where the boy escapes the facility, then starts to track down someone who could help him track down these people who have taken this girl. He finds the detective. The detective no longer has Jack with him, so the detective and Jack are no longer together. But the detective knows about the entities and all the beings, so he does help the boy track it down. And then in the third book, it would be the boy and the detective basically storming this asylum base to rescue this girl. And in the second book, there would be a side story going on where there's this other boy called Leon, who's this like weak, fragile, pale boy who's basically has now got the Jack diary. And Leon likes having the Jack diary. Like, Leon lets Jack possess him. Leon likes it because it makes him feel strong and protected and safe. So Leon lets Jack possess him. And it would basically be when they parted ways, when Jack and the husband parted ways, Jack, without the husband knowing, Jack left something in the husband to sort of protect the husband. Obviously, the husband now knows at this point, because it's been years since him and Jack were apart, and the husband can do things a human shouldn't be able to do. Like, he can, if he focuses, he can have bursts of adrenaline where he can move at superhuman speeds and have like superhuman strength and shit like that. But it massively drains him. Because like Jack was friends with him, so Jack's like, I'm not gonna leave you unprotected. Here you go. Even though we're parting ways. So Jack can sense that the husband is in trouble, and basically what ends up happening in that side story is Leon ends up getting mortally wounded by the police, because obviously Jack has been using Leon to kill people because that's what Jack does, and Leon's fine with him doing it. But instead of Leon dying, basically Jack just takes over Leon and Leon's personality is gone. Because the way the possession works is, yeah, Jack takes you over, but you're still there.
With gas laid on, Alice, we'll go to Brighton on what we save on beeswax, candles and oil.
It's more like a bonding of personalities and people. But where Leon's like so close to death, like if Jack leaves him, Leon will die. It's now just Jack in control of this body. So then in the third book, as they're storming this asylum castle facility in the middle of nowhere, right near the end of it, Leon or Jack would show up, and there would be an epic moment where the detective, using his adrenaline burst that Jack left him, and Jack in Leon like bursting around and teleporting around, basically hold off all these guards and clear a path for our new main character, the boy, to get to this back room where the girl is being held and rescue her. They get through the door, and the last scene we'd ever see of Jack and the detective would be basically all three of them get to this door. Through this door is where the room where the girl is. Jack and the detective tell the kid to just go through. Don't wait for them. Just go through. How do I get out? Do I just go back this way? Oh, look at the little eye guy. I love him. Just tell the boy to go through, and then it would have a nice scene. Okay, so I don't go this way. I'm dead now. I'm 8. Would have this nice scene where Jack looks over at Leon, and he sees... sorry, the detective looks over at Leon, and he doesn't see Leon. He sees Jack. Again, how Jack was described in the original books. And then it would just be like, cut to like 100 guards storming in the room, and them two going off to go fight these guards, and you would never hear about them again. And I would be a dick and never... Where am I meant to go from here, Kitten? Oh, this way. I would be a dick, and you would never hear from them again. And that would be it would just end in a cliffhanger of you don't know if they lived or not. Nope. I'm so confused. Oh, am I meant to go over here? Okay. Yeah. Oh, and the end of that book would be basically the kid goes down, tries to rescue the girl, gets his ass kicked by the head of this corporation who's trying to control the entities. But then the little girl manages to hold all 100 of the dead orphans entities, and turns out kidnapping, torturing, and putting 100 dead, burnt orphan entities into the body and mind of a little 8-year-old girl doesn't lead to her wanting to help you. It leads to her kicking your fucking ass. And that's how... Then the book would just end to the boy waking up on a boat with the little girl next to him, and the boat captain basically being like, he found the two of them sitting at a rock on this island as the asylum is burning down behind them, and that the little girl like cooled down the boat and rescued him. And she would be a badass motherfucker who now could basically control 100 entities. And obviously, as she's a child, she would call them her brothers and sisters, which is a little creepy, but I like that. And then as she gets older, she starts calling them her children. And then basically, the sequel to those 3 books... Oh yeah, I know, I did a lot in my head. The sequel to those 3 books would be a set of books where it's the boy and the girl when they're older, and basically they're traveling England, hunting down rumors of the entities and hunting down the people who used to work for the corporation who, burnt down their orphanage and did horrible experiments on them, trying to kill those people. And that's what it would be. That... Ah, I died. I didn't realize I'd kill you. That's 9. Thank you. This is a very nice story. This is a set of stories I will never write again. Never ever write. There's even more to it. Like, I got to the point... in my head, I wrote out the whole of their adventures of when they're basically like... She's a teenager and he's an adult going around the country trying to hunt down these entities and the people. And then I've also written of when they're older. Like, when she's like 38 and he's in his 40s and stuff like that. I've written everything in my head. Yeah. Like, it would also get to the point of as she's getting older and she calls them her children, certain things lead to it that she has less and less. So, like, she has 100 and then it gets to a point where there's an outburst and she loses a couple of them, and so she only has 88, and it's slowly getting to the point where there gets to a point in her life where she has none. Like, they're all gone. And not in a sad way. It's not like, oh, they're gone. Like, oh, they're gone. Like, they've moved on. They're now wherever we actually go when we die, rather than being trapped and linked to this weird thing. Because also, in her becoming the host for all 100, she's not just the host for them, she also becomes the tie, like the tether that ties them to our world. Because obviously, with Jack it was the book, with the orphans it was originally the burnt down post of their orphanage, but then the girl becomes the sort of tether and host to them. She also changes her name very often, because she sort of doesn't know who she is really. She's sort of trying to find herself, so she's constantly changing her name in the books, which is a little character flavor that I liked when I came up with that. So her name would be Annabella, because you could shorten that to so many things. You could shorten it to Belle, Bella, Anna, Annabelle, Lily. So, like, and that would be one of the themes in the books of, like, she's basically trying to find who she is. Oh, and one of the orphan entities can actually leave her and go to the boy, because that was the one orphan entity he managed to be a host to. So there could be like scenes where they get split up and she needs help, and basically that one can fuck off and go to him and be like, look, she's in trouble, she needs your help, blah 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 blah. But yes, it's a good story. It's a story I will never actually write. Because writing is hard. Writing is very, very hard. And also, I feel like I would be a dick with writing, because the amount of cliffhangers I wrote about, like, is Jack and the detective alive or not in those stories is so many. I basically keep being like, these characters that you hopefully love, oh, they might be dead, they might not be. Oh, they came back! And then once again, they might be dead, they may not be. 'Cause I'm a dick. I was very sad to find out, though, that Sweeney Todd is set before when Jack the Ripper was around. I know Sweeney Todd is fictional and Jack the Ripper is real. I know that. I'm upset to find out that Sweeney Todd was set before Jack the Ripper, because I did want to write like a little hint to that maybe Sweeney Todd was one of the hosts of the Jack entity. And basically it would just be a scene where the Jack entity uses his blade to give the detective a haircut and like give him his beard a shave, and then it would be like, how'd you get so good at this? Yeah, well, one of my hosts was a barber, and that would be it. But fucking Sweeney Todd is set before Jack the Ripper.
Mischief began among your father's mountain of paper, Alice. The real question is how.
No, but that's the whole. You say that, but that is sort of the whole point of this diary, is that it originally was Jack the Ripper's diary. Because there are bits where basically the detective goes, oh, you're called Jack. And you're called Jack, so you're Jack the Ripper. And the entity is very much, has to clarify, yes, I'm called Jack. But no, I'm not Jack the Ripper. I just took my... and he says, I just took my father's name. So the entity sort of sees Jack as his dad. Basically, that's one of the things that sort of... The reason I left that in there in my head was because I want there to be a reason to why is Jack so nice to the detective and not constantly trying to, other than the first book, constantly trying to get the detective to kill people and corrupt him and take him over. And it would just sort of be like the detective respects him, like, because everyone else who's hunting him down or has had the book sees that the entity is called Jack and it's Jack the Ripper's book, so they just keep calling him Jack the Ripper, and they keep calling like, oh, it's the Jack the Ripper entity, and blah blah blah, and no one likes him. Did you get both keyholes? Probably not, because I've never known how to get that memory there. So let me go looking. Where obviously the detective has that one bit of like, oh, you're called Jack and it's Jack the Ripper's diary, so you're Jack the Ripper. The entity goes, no, I'm very much not Jack the Ripper. I'm my own thing. He's just my father. And then from then on, you know, the detective never brings it up again. He just calls him Jack. He never calls him Jack the Ripper when people who are hunting him down calls the entity Jack the Ripper. What level are the keyholes on? This is one of the past. There is one on the past across. Oh, okay. There's one on the platform at the end, not where the door is. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, there would be characters who mention like they go, oh, the Jack the Ripper entity, and the detective would be like, no, you mean Jack. No, the detective would be like, he's not the Ripper, he's just Jack, and stuff like that. Why does it show me that? I did that, didn't I? So there's a keyhole this way? There's one on the platform at the end, not where the door is. So over here, yeah? Is this what you mean? No, I'm confused. Not that. I'm bad at hints. I don't know what you mean then, Kitten. I might just carry on because I don't know what you mean. Do you mean here? Is this what you mean? I don't think I saw this one. Oh, I didn't do this one. Also, the pig is still there. There's a pig in here? See, you know so much of this game and I don't. Is this the one you meant? That's the one. That's one. That's one of them. Oh my god, there's more. Oh, is that one? There's one there. Did I do this one? I don't know. Go left, yes. Oh no, I think I did this one, Kim. Yeah, I did this one. Oh, there's a pig though. I didn't do that. I'm bad at these devices. I got that. Is that all the things? Different pig. Oh. I'm bad at it. You can see why I'm never 100% in this game, because I'm just like, I don't know where anything is. How do I get up there? Is it this way? Do I need to go this way? I'm so confused. Listen. Also, the pig under the main platform. Listen for it. I can't listen for the pig. Is that all the keyholes before I carry on? Because you said there's a pig under here, didn't you? Oh yeah, there he is. Okay. Yeah, how do I get this? Can I just jump over there? Oh, I can, okay.
Remember, Alice, don't curse the darkness or the cold when you're in the library at night.
You jump. Cool. But yes, that's enough of my story times. I'm sorry I waffled on about shit no one cares about. I'm sorry. I just got into it. But yeah, I'm ending now if you can't tell. It's been 2 hours. Broken end screen for the win. Thank you for your help getting those things, Kitten. Thank you for your help. Thank you to Fire, not Fire. Why did I say Fire? Thank you to Ours for the raid. Thank you to Jazzy for the lurk, and thank you to Kitten for being here the whole time. And thank you to any lurkers who are here. And hi, YouTube people. Thank you too, if there are any. Also, go check out My Game Mondays on Mondays on YouTube. I have to go film one now. That's why I'm ending. I have to go film one of those now. Let's go raid Jazzy because they gave us a look. Boop boop. I will be back at 2 o'clock with more of Alice. Back at 2 o'clock with more Alice. Till then, goodbye. Dun. No. I walked away. I walked away. One 14 for me.